Working my way through The Zealot by Reza Aslan. Amazing period history piece. It's like a Dan Brown book, you know. I'm getting the feel of where he's going with this. There's so many Jewish messiahs that tried to do their thing in the first century, around the first century. And he places him as just one more of those. He kind of tips his hand because when he's talking about in the Garden of Gethsemane, when he says, sell your cloak and buy some weapons. Let's buy some weapons, you know, the Zealots, right? And so that they say, here's 2 swords. He says, that'll do. He doesn't mention that the purpose of that was for the fulfillment of Scripture, right? And that's an obvious one. And then he says it was a bloody battle in the garden. Well, you know, chopped the guy's ear off and then healed it. That was for a specific purpose. He said, don't forget, and he neglected to mention, he said, if you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. So he wasn't into the zealot violent thing, right? Although he kind of makes that hint. And the premise of delivering the history of Jesus in that way fails because Jesus himself talked about that. He said, there's lots of messiahs before me. They were all just thieves and robbers. And there's going to be lots of messiahs after me. Don't follow them. Right? His words are preserved. He says, my words, their spirit, their life. No one else has got words like him. You got the 4 Gospels. If that ain't enough, you got the Gospels of Thomas and Judas and all kinds of other. His words were recorded by multiple people at multiple different times. Some knew each other. Some borrowed some ideas from the other, but some didn't. Where's the words of all those other messiahs that claimed they were messiahs? They've fallen to the ground. And from all throughout history, there's been many, many messiahs. Up until Jim Jones and David Koresh, where are their words? They've fallen to the ground too. So I see where he's going. I mean, it's got the Dan Brown feel, and and I love it. I really do love the book. But I'm only on chapter, where am I? I'm chapter 7. The voice crying out in the wilderness. So I've read the first 6 chapters, and I thought they were excellent. But I can see where he's failing because he doesn't recognize the magnificence of what he's dealing with, obviously. So that being said, I'm making my way through it, and so far so good. I've gone through the first 6 chapters, and pretty cool book. Really, really enjoying it. Trying to read it slow to savor it because it's so exciting. The Romans, damn those Romans. They were horrible. Scary stuff.